die tonight if you're through this fight and finally let it go. The weight of holding on, so sick of being strong, just to end up alone. Or am I the only one still up, wondering why who I am has never been enough? 'Cause I've never known what it's like to just feel wanted, wanted like a ghost. Always end up here forgotten, forgotten. The question always haunting me, am I not worth remembering? What's it like to be more than just invisible? Maybe I will never know. Have you ever felt like a hand-me-down, like a waste of space? When nothing's permanent, it's so hard not to think the hell is wrong with me. And does it mess you up, thinking of reasons why nobody ever stays? 'Cause I can't stand being a burden anymore. If I was dead, at least I couldn't be ignored. 'Cause I've never known what it's like to just feel wanted, wanted like a ghost. Always end up here forgotten, forgotten. The question always haunting me, am I not worth remembering? What's it like to be more than just invisible? The kid that always gets picked last, there must be more to life than that familiar pain that I can't change. I open up, I can't replace, like who I am is a mistake. I can't take one more day of being me. I wish I could know what it feels like. 'Cause I've never known what it's like to just feel wanted, wanted. I feel so alone, always end up here forgotten, forgotten. The question always haunting me, am I not worth remembering? What's it like to be more than just invisible? Maybe I'll never know. I think you say sorry too much. I think you got issues with trust from the voices in your head that say that you're too hard to love. I think you still live with the ghosts of people you needed the most, that let you down and taught you how to keep your closet door closed. But I've been there and I would rather die than watch you drown in tears that you need to cry. You can talk to me. I can tell that you're not okay. You can spill your guts, I won't leave. You are not a burden to me. You can talk to me. Even down in your darkest place, you can let your skeleton scream. You are not a burden to me. You are not a burden to me. I think that you never get hurt by thinking someone's got it worse. Been minimized so many times that you believe it's deserved. I think you've been silent since youth, 'cause every time you speak your truth, you're stigmatized, re-traumatized by all the things you didn't choose. I don't mind your darker side, you can lose control. I'd rather hear your health and see your funeral. much more to love. You can talk to me. I can tell that you're not okay. You can spill your guts, I won't leave. You are not a burden to me. You can talk to me. Even down in your darkest place. Don't ever be ashamed of your needs. You are not a burden to me. You are not a burden. You are not a burden. You are not a burden to me. You are not a burden. Monsters that you're holding back, there's no need to dress them up. Your ugly truth give depth to you. Now there's so much more to love. It's been one of those days, counting down the seconds till I can just go to sleep. Forget my whole existence, 'cause everything's wrong, nothing goes right, I'm done. Whenever I say it couldn't get worse, it does. Had enough, now the hope feels hollow. Try to run, but my demons follow. Feels like I'm always falling. When will I hit rock bottom? Somebody better read my vitals. I'm getting close to suicidal. Life don't run out of problems. When will I hit rock bottom? Sick of holding on, sick of holding on. When will I hit rock bottom? Sick of being strong, sick of being strong. When will I hit rock bottom? It's been one of those nights of staring at the ceiling, wondering why I'm alive. Been praying God must hate me, 'cause nobody cares and nobody's there when I call. Fighting off thoughts that say I should end it all. Had enough, now the hope feels hollow. Try to run, but my demons follow. Feels like I'm always falling. When will I hit rock bottom? Somebody better read my vitals. I'm getting close to suicidal. Life don't run out of problems. When will I hit rock bottom? My breaking points so far behind. My limits in the rearview, I've crossed every line. 1,000 times I should have died. How much can one heart take? How am I still alive? Had enough, now the hope feels hollow. Try to run, but my demons follow. Feels like I'm always falling. When will I hit rock bottom? Somebody better read my vitals. I'm getting close to suicidal. Life don't run out of problems. When will I hit rock bottom? Sick of holding on, sick of holding on. When will I hit rock bottom? Sick of being strong, sick of being strong. When will I hit rock bottom? medicines, seen all the therapists. Now I'm running out of hope. Feels like living on death row. When I let people in, it kills my confidence. Abusing vulnerable till I finally overdose. Maybe I'm just too sick. Maybe I can't be fixed. Maybe I won't be missed. Somebody unbreak my bones. Somebody come crack my code. 'Cause I don't know how to figure me out. Somebody explain my scars. Somebody replace my parts. 'Cause I don't know how to figure me out. 'Cause I don't know I'm out of specialists. Send me an exorcist. 'Cause I got a ghost in me that nobody else believes. My old perfectionist, programmed to pessimist, that's always whispering something so discouraging. Maybe I'm just too sick. Maybe I can't be fixed. Maybe I won't be missed. Somebody unbreak my bones. Somebody come crack my code. 'Cause I don't know how to figure me out. Somebody explain my scars. Somebody replace my parts. 'Cause I don't know how to figure me out. Don't wanna die, but I can't live like this. I can't live like this. I can't live like this. No. Don't wanna die, but I can't live like this. Lost in this abyss. I can't live like this. Somebody unbreak my bones. Somebody come crack my code. 'Cause I don't know how to figure me out. Somebody unbreak my bones. Somebody come crack my code. 'Cause I don't know how to figure me out. Somebody explain my scars. Somebody unbreak this heart. 'Cause I don't know how to figure me out. Sometimes the silver lining's only blinding. Sometimes a friend's advice just makes it worse. Sometimes the best intentions feel like prying. When no one knows how much it hurts. And Anytime that you're not okay, I will shut my mouth and say, I'll never ever try to fix you. I'm never ever gonna quit you. Anytime that the sun won't shine through, I will sit in your shadows with you. I'll never judge you for your problems, even if you never ever solve them. Even when there's not a thing we can do, I will sit in your shadows with you. Sometimes the medication's just a band-aid. Sometimes the therapists don't have a clue. Sometimes the more you share, you feel more insane. 'Cause no one gets what you've been through. Anytime that you're not okay, I will shut my mouth and say, anytime that you're not okay, I will see your worst and stay. I'll never ever try to fix you. I'm never ever gonna quit you. Anytime that the sun won't shine through, I will sit in your shadows with you. I'll never judge you for your problems, even if you never ever solve them. Even when there's not a thing we can do, I will sit in your shadows with you. 2 ears, 1 mouth, not a word is necessary. Human, safe house, I wanna be your sanctuary. Unhinged, break down, we can live in a cemetery. I can call that home if it means you're not alone. I'll never ever try to fix you. I'm never ever gonna quit you. Anytime that the sun won't shine through, I will sit in your shadows with you. I'll never judge you for your problems, even if you never ever solve them. Even when there's not a thing we can do, I will sit in your shadows with you. I will sit in your shadows with you. I will sit in your shadows with you.
God damn, can that person ever go the fuck away? First, he wants me to do a damn inside job. Second, he tries to fucking talk. And I know his true intentions, and now he shoots my vehicle. Fuck. Uh-oh. We got a pursuit, boys. We got a pursuit. Bitch, move. Buddy. Bitch. Bitch ass. Hello. Lucky for me, I'm a yeah. Just gotta. Oh shit! I just smacked that guy. No me. Where's the smoke? Where's the smoke? Let's play a little game called Where Did the Motherfucker Go? Let's play a little game called Where's the Bitch? Where's the bitch? Where's the bitch? There's the bitch. Winnie the Pooh. Fellas. Fellas. Oh my god, this is this. I have a guy
in my damn game. That is fucking annoying me. This fucking dumbass. Bro, now, get the fuck out of here, you piece of motherfucking shit. I'm gonna stay in this garage until this stupid, annoying piece of shit goes away. Holy fuck. It's the guy in a black McLaren. Jeez. Will he ever go the fuck away? Bro. Why did this guy fucking kill me when I did nothing to him? You dumbass motherfucker. You annoying piece of shit. You annoying piece of shit. You done now. You done now. You done now. Uh-huh, and now you think you gonna run. Nah. Nah, you stupid bitch. And bro killed me because I said he was fucking annoying. Go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. Dirty ass bitch.
Move over to the side of the road.
Fuck this annoying piece of shit. Holy. If I find that black McLaren guy, I am shooting him. I don't give a fuck. I don't give two fucks about annoying people in this game. I will shoot you no matter what. I'm back at the fucking sheriff station, you piece of shit. This dude is fucked up. Nah, if I find him, he's dead. He's dead. And he's wanted too. Not like who in real life wants him. I mean, dead ass. No one in real life wants this annoying piece of shit. If I find this guy, he's dead. I swear to it. If I find this no-nipple-ass bitch, I will kill him. I don't give two fucks. He's dead. Yes, I'm in the tier server, you dumbass. Tier 3. And unlike you two dumbasses, you guys can't join tier 3 because you don't got the requirements. Why did Race leave? Why did Race leave? Nipple having ass bitch. If I find this motherfucker, he's dead. I swear to it. If I find this damn motherfucking no nipple ass bitch, I will fucking kill him. I swear. I swear this bitch, this no nipple having ass bitch. You're annoying. Go the fuck away. Okay. I'm gonna go make myself some lunch. You go more. Well, first part of my lunch is gonna take 3 minutes and 30 seconds to heat up, and then the soup is gonna take about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So in total, you got about 6 minutes. So hurry your ass up. Let me mute stream. Let me mute stream. Let me. You bitch. boys, since I will be eating my lunch, I will be switching categories to just chatting until I'm done with my snack and lunch. So, I got mac and cheese right here, y'all, along with applesauce. So,
So it would appear that due to the Online Safety Act, many different healthcare websites and certain articles and content are being limited from young people accessing. And some of these things pertain to health related stuff that is very important for teenagers to be aware of. Now, in the process of all of this, many organizations and companies have come out to speak against this and how it is bad. And I really agree with pretty much everything they're saying. However, a lot of these companies are misunderstanding the subject with the target. And we're going to get into that in today's video. But very quickly, 10 seconds of your time. Private Internet Access VPN, 4 months free, 86% off. It's the best way to support the channel, and it allows you to access any content you want on the internet. Right. Now let's get into the video. So I wasn't originally planning on making this video, but after sitting down and starting to kind of work out a rough script and what I wanted to say, I realized it's kind of important to talk about it, especially from a male perspective. And yes, if you're a woman, don't click off. Hopefully this resonates with everyone. So recently, it's no secret that stuff is getting censored online because of the Online Safety Act. Whether things are getting falsely flagged or the government has some sort of agenda, let's not even get into that in this video. But I think it's important to point out that people aren't being able to access information. People aren't being able to access medical information. People aren't being able to check forums and to seek guidance on whether something that's happening with their body may or may not be normal. And for women, this is more pronounced. So with the Online Safety Act, the way that content gets flagged for being inappropriate for children is biased. It massively filters out female content significantly more, and the core reason for this because the sheer volume of female nudity on the internet. Now, we're not going to get into putting the blame on men for this. Hundreds of thousands of women in the UK are starting OnlyFans accounts. In fact, it's almost impossible to scroll Instagram and not see a woman that has an OnlyFans account now. The feed is dominated with it. And yes, men create the demand for that content, but women, you have the choice whether to fulfill that content, and you are fulfilling that content. But naturally, because of the sort of content on many different platforms, this is being censored, and it's gone to the point that it's gone beyond just these pages. In fact, it's gone to all content. So Bodyform, the company that make tampons and panty liners and all that sort of stuff, they've recently put out a post in collaboration with a group called Censorship. And the whole idea is that female content is being censored. Now, like we've just gone over, some medical content is being filtered, and it is a problem. And it's no secret that I am massively against the Online Safety Act. However, whilst I agree that the end desired result for Censorship, the organisation that are running this campaign against the Online Safety Act, while I believe in the end goal, I don't believe in the methodology to get there. So Bodyform, for example, they run ads and they talk pretty openly about periods. They want it to be understood that it's a normal part of life, and I think that's absolutely fine. To be honest, as a male, I don't want to see that in my feed. It's nothing to do with me. I don't benefit from those understandings. You know, my partner, she's fine. She understands how all of that works. For me, I have no real need to see 15 ads a day of how tampons work. I get it. I don't need to worry about that. Very blessed. The same way my partner doesn't need to worry about what goes on downstairs for me. And this is why I was a bit unsure about whether to make this video. So censorship, it's so difficult to talk about. They're called censorship because it's like censoring her sort of thing. But yeah, their whole campaign, I was reading through it, and they made tons and tons of good points, great points about how medical information for young girls, if a young girl has something going on with their body, they may want to search it and find some information. And because of the Online Safety Act, young women can't find that information, which is, by the way, disastrous. Access to information being limited by the government. When has that ever gone well for anyone other than the government? But then they go on to essentially make this a whole campaign against men. And this is where it falls apart. They're saying that it's men doing this, men silencing women, and all of the comments are saying the same thing. People are like, yeah, men are in control. So there was 9 people responsible for passing the Online Safety Act and also issuing like the guidance to social media platforms of what content to limit and what content to censor. But out of the 9 people, 7 of them were women. There was only 2 men involved in that process, and one of them we've covered on the channel before, William Perrin. The rest of the people involved were women. So saying that this is some sort of male agenda against women, the government didn't even get a proper chance to review the Online Safety Act. They outsourced it to Carnegie UK. Carnegie UK dealt with all of the research, and then it got passed through various different companies and private entities, which we've covered on the channel, but you know where I sit with that. There is a big video coming, by the way, which is everything you need to know. But this is the thing. These big corporations like Bodyform, they have the ability and they have the access to start actually making the situation better. But if I worked in the government and I saw the paper that they produced, the white paper, and all of the comments underneath it where it's just bashing men, and if it was bashing men for things that men have done, 100%. If it's something that the government has said or done that shows that it's against women, I'd fully understand that. But referencing the Online Safety Act and social media censorship and then just saying it's the men in power that have caused this, I would love to agree with you. Like, any opportunity to put a middle finger up to the government, I'm there. I'm cool with that. But it has to be on the basis of truth. And this campaign and this white paper that they've published so far isn't based on 100% facts. For example, they're angry that some of their ads aren't being presented on social media. Well, yes, because some of the terminology they're using in the ads and all of the keywords are the exact same keywords that OnlyFans girls are using. It's impossible for every single individual ad to get manually reviewed. It's just not, there is no business model there for Facebook and Instagram. So what we need to do is go back to the government and say, right, let's remove the Online Safety Act, get rid of that. It's not working. How about we try one of the 1 million other options that are currently available to actually stop children from accessing this content online, like parents being parents. But because they've now turned this campaign as a man-bashing campaign, especially when they're bashing men for an act that was primarily written by women, it takes away from the argument. I know this is why I don't want to make this video, because I know this is going to be controversial in the comments. Like, oh, you're a man, you can't talk about women's problem. No, I can't. But I can talk about where the evidence points. And this isn't an act that was institutionalized by the men in power. This was an act that was introduced by our current government, and it happens to have been written by women. I'm not against the act because it was written by women. I do not give a shit. I grew up in a family of women. I have nothing against women. Women do 1 million things that men definitely can't do. I can't shit out a baby. But I'm an avid believer that regardless of the end goal, getting to the end goal ethically and honestly is important. For example, you may be able to abolish the Online Safety Act by wiping out half the government in a Guy Fawkes. But it wouldn't be ethical and it wouldn't be right, and I am against that. I believe fighting for democracy is the right thing to do, to get the correct governments in power, whichever government that might be, to get rid of the Online Safety Act. And in the case of removing the Online Safety Act at the moment, I'm happy to get to the end result of removing the Online Safety Act, but I don't think it's fair to do it by going after people's gender, religion, whatever it might be. I don't believe it's important to go after those things to get to your end result, even though you've lied throughout the whole way and you've misrepresented the data. I truly do do believe that the internet is getting censored. I've seen it myself. BBC have even reported on it, which, by the way, they got in trouble for reporting it, and there is an interview coming soon. And we know the internet has been censored as well. Instagram, Twitter, and all these other platforms have received a list of requirements from the government saying, hey, you must filter this content, this content, this content. And the algorithms for each of these platforms have, as always, overreached and filtered information that's actually beneficial.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar. I want to keep this video a little short and sweet. I was going to talk about butt plugs getting leaked. Not in that way, mostly when it comes to a hack. I might still talk about it because it's actually incredibly hilarious. But, you know, the internet is this place that's rapidly changing. In today's video, I'm not going to just get into the doom and gloom. I'm going to teach you guys how to take back a little bit of your privacy in a way that the government can't just take away from you, okay? I'm going to tell you how to keep your stuff hidden as you post it all over the internet without the big bad government looking into every single part of your life. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is I saw this. The EU, one of the biggest areas and zones in the world, could be scanning your chat messages in October 2025, which is not too far away. It's like, what, 2 months? So the reason why this really hits me is that even though that I'm not from the EU, I'm not doubting that plenty of countries around the world are implementing their own laws. Whether you be from Canada, whether you be from the United States, whether you be from Europe, whether you be from like Africa, you know, any part, all these countries, all these corporations want to take away the little bit of privacy that you have. Now, privacy is a human right, okay? You deserve privacy. I want to ask you a simple question. Do you like coming home and leaving your door open and letting your entire fucking world look inside your house and everything that you do? When you go and, I don't know, fucking relax for the evening and do something in private, do you want the entire world to just look into it? And I'm pretty sure 99.9% of you guys and gals don't, okay? Unless you're like some exhibitionist fucking freak, maybe so. But the thing about this is, obviously I wanted to read a little bit closer, and it comes out that this is apparently something known as chat control. So chat control aims to halt the spread of CSAM content online by scanning all communications, especially encrypted ones. So again, CSAM, for anybody that doesn't know, is child sexual assault material, which obviously, you know, the long and short of it is that it is just child pornography, okay? It's really illegal material. Now, before we go into it and somebody goes, but Muta, don't you want this kind of filthy stuff to be stopped? Absolutely. I think most people do. Everyone, I think, really enjoys watching some of the most illegal stuff stopped. But the thing is, I'm also somebody that cares about privacy, and I don't trust the government when they say, think of the children, guys. Because generally speaking, like I said in yesterday's video, I think a lot of this stuff is sort of a gateway into a surveillance state internationally, all over the world. No matter where you are, this is sort of the, like, excuse that these countries and these governments and these corporations take in order to erode our rights, just so they can say we're protecting the children, even though there's been a history of basically some of the world's largest police forces, agencies, governments, finding ways to scan our information, okay? I've talked about the FBI, I've talked about all these organizations. Give them an inch, they will take a mile. They will run all your messages, all your emails, through artificial intelligence, and God forbid you say something naughty, God forbid you don't suck the taint of the government, they might do something drastic to you. They might silence you. They might debank you. They might push for your life to be more miserable than you might expect, okay? Especially if you're somebody that's dissenting against a tyrannical fascist government, okay? There's plenty of places in the world, like Iran, like China, and maybe even the United States to an extent nowadays, where you have to be able to have some privacy and push back to the government pushing into your life, okay? I think that's a basic human right, and that should be protected. Now, I'm not running for fucking public office here. I'm just giving you my perspective and why I'm so passionate about this topic. So again, when you go down over here, experts worry that the new obligations undermine encryption protections. So encryption is something that, apps like WhatsApp, Signal, Proton Mail, and of course a lot of VPNs that, push for encryption do. They turn data into a garbled, unreadable mess that when it flows through the internet tubes, nobody is able to look into it. But obviously, when it comes to this specific ruling, they want to be able to pre-scan on the client side all the information before it's packed up and sent. Now, the thing is, obviously, a lot of organizations will go out of their way to scan for CSAM information, right? They will do what they can to stop illegal things. For instance, Apple implemented a CSAM detection system. This is a write-up from 2021. I've obviously shown it before, but the way that this kind of stuff works is obviously they have hashes, which they've grabbed from NCMEC or other organizations, and what a hash is it's not necessarily a, image of something illegal, it's just the hash calculation of an illegal image. So for instance, on an actual phone or a device, when, you have images, they generate hashes, and those hashes are calculated against, illegal hashes, and if there is a match that is found, then of course things can be decrypted, you can have legal cases started, so on and so forth. And again, an example of this could be something like this. This image and this image appear to have a pretty similar hash because they're the same image. Obviously, there's more data that's being checked. And this image compared to this image is different. The hashes are different because the image itself is entirely different, as you can tell. Now, what I just showed you, I believe Apple hasn't even implemented that. In fact, I believe it was actually scrapped. And it shows you kind of the dangerous side of, hey, we want to stop illegal material, but even these big tech companies have a hard time finding a way, that perfect balance between privacy, user safety, security, so on and so forth. So again, it's a complicated mess, and it doesn't help the fact that politicians are kind of jamming through legislation when they don't understand how these things even work. If the tech companies are having an issue, you can't just shotgun your way through these things without logically thinking them through, which I don't think these governments are really doing. Now, the thing about this is that really baffles me is don't think for a second that if you're a politician or you're in the fucking military or you work for an intelligence agency, that you follow under the same rules. Again, a lot of these politicians that are pushing this privacy busting shit onto you are not going to be using it themselves. They'll get all the privacy they want. You, however, the user, lose every single aspect of it because they'll just say they want to protect the children. And if you push back against it, they'll say, what, you don't care about the kids? Obviously we care about kids. We just don't care about losing our basic human rights in the process. It's like looking at things like Windows, for instance. Like a couple days ago, an executive at Microsoft said that somewhere in 2030, using a computer, at least Microsoft Windows, will be done through voice and artificial intelligence. So the days of fucking, AIs that you see in sci-fi shit, we're going to be talking with them. They'll say the world of mousing around and typing will feel as alien as it does to Gen Z to use MS-DOS. So yeah, they want to make sure that the computer will be able to see what we see, hear what we hear, and we can talk to it and ask it to do much more sophisticated things. And a lot of this, I assume, is going to be done through AIs that are connected to servers. So no matter what, you'll still always be giving up your fucking personal life just to use your computer. It's one of the reasons why I push Linux a lot, because even if I know you don't want to switch to Linux, I at least want you, the viewer, to know that there is some, competition. There is an alternative that you can dig up, an alternative operating system, for instance, that you can run and you can modify to your own specifications. You don't need to have Microsoft's AI spying bullshit if you don't want to. And, honestly, I've played enough Deus Ex to know that the world is headed to a very fucking heavy surveillance state when things like our private messages will no longer be private if these things are pushed. Now, even sites like Signal, for instance, are not sites, services. I use Signal to talk to my buddies Amaru and Kyle, and what it is, it's effectively like a chat messaging service with a lot of encryption baked into it. Now, we use this because, generally speaking, we have different smartphones. Like, you can have Android, you can have iPhones, and for us, messaging to each other is done through something like Signal, right? Which means we don't have to pay texting fees, we get all the benefits of encryption, and all of that good stuff. But the thing is, even Signal is considering if this passes, they may have to stop servicing this entire region. And what a kick in the nuts when people are losing access to privacy features that they have basically been taken for fucking granted. So you might be like, Muda, you started this video off by saying that you were going to give us a way to fight back. And I'm going to take you guys back to the old days of what we call pretty good privacy. Now, pretty good privacy is an encryption standard that came out in 1991. And it's got to be pretty goddamn good when the individual behind it is investigated by the fucking US government, on criminal investigations. Because again, whenever you create something that finally threatens the government or big corporations, they will send the entire goddamn law on you. So to use this, what you want to do is you want to get an application known as Cleopatra, for instance. Now, Cleopatra is an application that you can use underneath Linux, underneath Windows, and you might need to do something different with Mac. But generally you download this, and this is effectively what it looks like. Now, to give you an idea of how this stuff effectively works, ladies and gentlemen, what you do, PGP was basically made, kind of for emails back in the day, and I'll show you exactly how it works. So once you get this application open, you want to go to File, you want to go to New Open PGP Key Pair. So as soon as you go over here, you want to put in your name, right? So I'm going to put in Mutahar, and again, you can put in an email. So you can put in something like mutahar@email.com. Now, generally speaking, what will happen is, some of these softwares will ask you want to protect the keys with a passphrase, and you absolutely do. So again, you put in a password, and as soon as it's done, it'll actually create a new key pair for you. So once this key pair is effectively made, you see Mutahar right over here has two sets of keys, a public key and a private key. So when I right-click my name, I can export what appears to be a public key. So this public key is actually very important. Now, when I open up that public key, for instance, right over here, if I just open it with a text editor, this is what a public key looks like. Now, if you've ever seen my dark web browsing series, this should look pretty similar to you. So basically, you take this key and you can put it on a website, or you can just share it with the people that you want to talk to privately. Now, they will take this key and they will go to their actual software and they will import that key, that public key right here. Now, for instance, just for the sake of this video in particular, I went to an online PGP key generator and I made a key for a guy named Joey at email.com. Now, again, I went with the RSA encryption method. I went with 4,996 bits. And of course, I gave it a, timeline of 1 year, right? And of course, I gave it a password. So what this did was generated a public key, and it also generated a private key. Now, if you're somebody that wants your privacy, you will never share your private key. This private key is meant for you to use when decrypting things. Now, how this works, for instance, is let's say you want to send somebody a message, right? Well, first, you want to also build your own set of keys. So you get a file, New Open PGP Key Pair, and let's say you want to give your name, right? Mutahar, for instance. email.com, right? Now, you could also provide a passphrase, which I highly recommend you do because you don't want to store your private keys as a plain text, for instance. You don't want to store anything that could just be opened and basically pilfered through. So again, hit OK. It'll generate a new OpenPGP certificate. Now, right over here, this is my certificate, and this is the certificate of somebody named John, for instance. Now, let's say I wanted to send John a message, right? Now, since I have John's public key, and John has a private key that he can use to decrypt any message that was encoded for his public key, all I have to do is effectively just go to something like the Notepad and say, hey, here is a message. Now, of course, this is obviously nothing crazy, but you could write an entire long message, or you could write, paragraphs upon paragraphs. And then, of course, at this point, what you want to do is, under the recipients, you can encrypt for, let's say, Mutahar. Or you can encrypt for somebody else, right? Like, for instance, it would be this John character. Now, this message, this long string of information, is your encrypted message. So if you're not picking up something right now, you could theoretically go to any messaging service, like, for instance, I have Google Messages. Now, this is just a random, thing that I opened up in Google Messages. But let's assume that, I'm talking to John over here. I can paste this entire PGP message and send it to John. John can copy this message and then decrypt it. So for instance, let's go to the decryption side of it, right? Let's put that whole message in, and of course, let's hit decrypt. So it says decryption actually isn't possible because there's no secret key. Because again, I didn't input John's secret key, which we'll actually do right now. So let's input that secret key, which is why you should never be leaking this out to anybody. This should be just for you. So of course, as we do this, we can input that as my certificate, for instance, just for the sake of this video. And now if we try to decrypt this message, it'll ask for a passphrase, which I have password, okay, so an extra layer of security. And once everything is done, boom, here is the decrypted message. So this may seem really complicated, but if you're somebody that cares about your privacy first, you know, and you want to find a way where governments just can't grab your information, this is an old tried and true method. Now, it isn't foolproof, it isn't perfect, it definitely has its flaws and weaknesses, but it's better than having actually nothing, especially in an age where governments want to be pilfering through our messages and basically putting us into a situation where we live in the world of Deus Ex or Minority Report, whatever weird futuristic dystopia that the world is slowly crafting into. But this is by far one of the best ways that you can fight back. And yes, it has its limitations, but I think people are going to have to start digging up these technologies and really getting into, really figuring out how this stuff works. Because the more and more these governments, the more and more these agencies want to take away our actual human rights, the more I think it becomes a requirement for, you know, anybody to teach people how to get just a glimpse of that privacy back. But I think teaching you how to encrypt your messages and your texts is a borderline important thing to be doing. And if we start losing applications that basically do this, except even better with end-to-end encryption, like a more robust form, if they take those apps away, this is the only way for you to send messages across the world with pretty good privacy over effectively the most unsecure methods. If I sent this message to anybody that I was talking to over the internet, there's a pretty good chance that the government will look at this garbled message and try to at least understand and get this. And sure, they could obtain these messages if, for instance, they grabbed everyone's private keys, right, inside these message chains. But the thing is, with the password that we provided, the encryption that we gave, those keys shouldn't be stored in plain text, at least in theory. So basically, the idea is, ladies and gentlemen, pretty good privacy is kind of on its way back. And honestly, back in the day, this was used for emails. On the dark web, it was used to actually securely transit messages. Because even if sites were infested with like fucking glowies, there was still ways to at least communicate without the glowies knowing every single thing against you. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar, and take back your privacy. Fight back. Okay, there's ways to do it. You use things like PGP, just as a starter. But you know what? Hopefully things do change, but if they don't, here are some means to at least hold yourself off. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.
Pirate Nation on X says EU revives plan to ban private messaging. August 4th, 2025. The EU is inching towards the biggest peacetime surveillance experiment in its history. Wait, I need big quotes around that experiment. With plans to quietly search every private message before you hit send. But don't worry, guys. I'm sure it's for your safety. And of course, for the children, because how could it not be? The European Union is still wrestling with a controversial plan that would turn private messaging services into surveillance tools. For over 3 years, talks have stalled over whether providers should be forced to scan every user's message for possible illegal material and forward anything suspicious to law enforcement. Now, I will say, just to play devil's advocate on this, if I didn't know what I already knew, I would say seems harmless enough. It will help the police catch the bad guys and evildoers and the drug lords and all that. Yeah. What people don't recognize with the major concern with all of this is it's not about stopping what the problems are right now. It's about finding ways to control the population more to have more power over them. And inch by inch, slowly, each passing day with each new law, they get more and more ground gained. That's what's concerning. Today, it's the drug dealers. Tomorrow, it's wait, what'd you say to that person? Oi, that's hate speech. What are you doing over there? The European Commission is still pushing for a universal scanning requirement. In contrast, the European Parliament insists any checks should apply only to unencrypted messages from people already under suspicion, which even that I have a massive issue with because that can be warped as well. Attempts to strike a deal have been repeatedly fallen apart, with Poland the latest presidency to walk away without an agreement. Shout out to Poland. July brought a change in leadership of the Council of the EU, with Denmark stepping in and putting chat scanning back at the top of the legislative pile. Copenhagen wants this handled as a priority, wasted no time tabling a new draft on its very first day in charge. Almost like there's a rush to implement this. Leaked records from a closed door July meeting show the Danish text closely tracks earlier proposals from Belgium and Hungary with no concessions for encrypted conversations. Weird. So now they're going back to it applies to everyone. Don't worry about encrypted. A softer version from Poland, which would have made scanning voluntary and left encrypted chats alone, has been dropped entirely. Well, even that I would not want because that's the slippery slope too. Because once it's, opt in, it's voluntary. Hey, we're only going to scan it if you give us the approval to do so. What's that going to turn into in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? It's not always going to be that way. It's going to be, we just implemented it. It's just a quick change of the code. We're just going to put it across the board for everyone and remove the option for you to decline it. Out of 27 EU countries, 20 spoke during the July debate, each lodging what officials call a comprehensive audit reservation. Germany summed up the atmosphere by noting the familiar mood was clear. Italy, Spain, and Hungary have been in favor of mandatory chat scanning from the start. I don't know what the hell's going on with Italy, but my goodness, Italy's turning into like the state surveillance of the world where they want full power, full control of everything. Italy. France could tip the balance since blocking the plan requires 4 countries representing at least 35% of the EU's population. Paris has moved from tentative support to saying it could basically support the proposal. Because of course Paris would do that. Others remain cautious or opposed. Belgium, despite earlier enthusiasm, admits encrypted scanning is a difficult topic nationally. Estonia reports a national conflict between security authorities and data protection officers regarding encryption and client-side scanning. Austria is bound by a parliamentary vote against mandatory scanning or undermining encryption, a stance shared by the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Slovenia say they are still not yet convinced. Why is there someone trying to convince? What is the problem that is being fixed right now? What are they trying to do with this information? If it's to stop the evildoers, just trust us. We just need this network of interconnected information to track every single person and everything they say. You better run the other way when a government's doing that. Poland warns the scheme weakens cybersecurity and opens the door to attacks from abroad, which, by the way, that's another thing these governments need to be concerned about. If everything is available for these governments to inspect, then they're going to start using that against counter governments that they disagree with. And I could see problems arising from that as well. Calling consent requirements meaningless because it's not voluntary. Germany has opposed encrypted scanning for 2 years, but has yet to confirm whether the new government will stick to that position. The council's own legal service concluded long ago that the plan clashes with fundamental rights. Their view remains the core problems of access to communications of potentially all users remains unchanged. They stress that client-side scanning is a violation of human rights and does not depend on the type of technology, which that makes sense because the government can't be in your ear whenever you're talking to someone in your own house privately. They're not allowed to tap your phone lines. They're not allowed to come in and record everything inside your own house. Why would they be allowed to tap your private messaging? Why would that be any different? Despite years of warnings from technologists, lawyers, and privacy campaigners, the decision now appears to hinge more on politics than evidence. Well, that's not good because we all know where it's going to go from there. Denmark has already circulated a lightly revised second draft. The next round of council negotiations is set for September 12th, with advocates hoping for final adoption by October 14th. I don't know about you guys, but just hearing all the work that's going on behind the scenes with this, all the people involved with it, all the different nations coming together on it, I can't help but think, how much money are they wasting? How much taxpayer dollars? All the flights, all the conversations, all the writing and the drafts and the meetings and discussions for something that nobody wants. Ask the people, do the people want state surveillance? No. Then why is this something that's being pushed forward? Question again that they can never answer. Patrick Breyer, former MEP for Germany's Pirate Party, says governments that opposed chat control last year are now wavering, even though the 2025 plan is even more extreme. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Look at this. Help stop chat control. Is your government opposing it yet? That's a lot of red, which is very bad. That's a lot of red. If this goes across the board here, this could be something that eventually makes its way stateside. And for my own personal concern, that is very concerning. If France and Germany swing behind Denmark's push, Europe could soon see the largest government mandated inspection of private communications in its history, conducted directly on people's devices before encryption can protect them. For many, that would mark the end of truly private messaging in the EU. That is insane. That is insane to know that it's not going to be that, like, if it was back in the day and this was happening, it would be like, man, that's really annoying because they're going to just target specific people they don't like, and that's really bad. But now it's even scarier with AI being involved and programming AI and the capabilities of grazing all text conversations and flagging hate speech, wrong think, things that aren't what they want to be hearing, and then turning that into a problem and then arresting people for said problem that they've created. This is the perpetual slippery slope that is extremely concerning with this kind of thing, because it's not for the greater good of, oh, it's to get the bad guys. And if we just had everyone's information, we could arrest all the bad guys and then there would be no bad guys. Like, no, you have to be a complete idiot to think that's what this is about. This is about full power and full control. And they know that. Anyone in any of these political positions that doesn't know that is a complete moron, because down the road, this is going to be used against people across the board every single time. Throughout history, government surveillance is always the worst idea ever. Anytime it ever comes up, no is always the answer. It blows my mind that these other countries, unions, groups of places can't seem to understand that the freedom of the people is what creates a flourishing society, which is probably why America always seems to be ahead of everyone else. And I'd like to keep it that way, but I am very concerned. I'm very concerned at this kind of shit coming over here and try to impact what we do here, because that is going to completely destroy any kind of creativity and growth as a society, honestly. And yeah, I agree, by the way. Pirate Dark, they want to overwrite the rules. Exactly. Four More says, we have guns. Don't forget, a few years ago, they made a big push to try and take those away. I'm not a huge gun guy, but I will always fight for the right for everyone to have guns. Everyone. But with that, I'll leave it there.
Thank you very much. Can I just take you back to something you said right at the start? Talking about the government and the Online Safety Act, and you said they claim that protecting children is the sole purpose of the Online Safety Act. So you seem to think there is a real hidden purpose. What is that?
Well, if it was to protect children, why on earth would an elite police force be set up to monitor what people say online about events such as what's occurred in Warwickshire just last week? Why on earth are we seeing the extent to which online material has been censored, including, I was hearing this morning, even historical comments about Richard III. I mean, this is the beginning of state censorship. It is very worrying and very frightening. As for the intended purpose of the Act, a process begun by the Conservative Party, fully understandably, because of suicide kits being available online and all of these terrible things. Yes, of course, the original intention of the Act was honourable and correct in every way, and we would stand behind it. The trouble is that I suspect most 13-year-olds are more tech-savvy than the Science Minister, Peter Kyle, because they simply go to VPNs where they can't just access what's on the web, they can even quite easily find themselves in the even deeper and darker recesses of the dark web. Do we want legislation that protects children? Yes. We're going to have to find a tech solution to it. The government is not there with it. Thank you. Catherine Foster, GB News.
Jess Phillips, the safeguarding minister, has doubled down basically on that message from last week and said that he would enable modern day Jimmy travels. What is your response to that comment and to Jess Phillips in particular around safety of women and girls?
Well, Jimmy Savile, of course, famously was never online, ever. Never owned a computer, never went on the web. So that's an inappropriate comparison. It's also just sinking to the gutter of politics to make that comparison. I repeat the point. We would love to see legislation, effective legislation, that protected young children from harmful and dangerous material. This Act does not do that, and this Act then extends right into the area of free speech. And when you think it's only the 25th of July when it actually came into being, the effects, I would suggest, are chilling already. And I would say to Jess Phillips, why don't we have a proper debate? Why don't we debate the Online Safety Act publicly? Why don't we debate whether this does actually protect minors, whether it does protect children? We'd be very, very happy to engage in that. We'd very happily work with them on trying to find tech solutions that work. But I'm not going to sink to their level of abuse. I'm just not. Shihab Khan from ITV.
Shihab Khan from ITV News. The government has released a range of new measures, both over the weekend and today, that they say is intended to try and stop these crossings from punishing those posting on social media, advertising channel crossings, and reforming the asylum system and the appeals process. I suspect you'll be very critical of that, but what would you do instead if you were empowered to get the backlog down and to stop those crossings from happening?
Well, the big story is they're going to spend £100 million on this. Wow. We've given the French £800 million already. And every calm day we see the French Navy escorting vessels literally from the beaches of Gravelines or wherever it may be to the Midway line. And yes, you can employ more officers and you can do whatever you want and you can put more border force boats in the channel and more drones and spotter planes in the sky. And you can speed up the asylum process. Easy. Just wave everybody through. In fact, from Sudan, Eritrea, countries like that, that's pretty much what we do already. None of this stops people coming. Why do people come? They come because they know they have an over 99% chance of staying. They come because they know they will be looked after, 3 square meals a day, free dental care, free health care, 49 quid a week pocket money, and while they're at it, probably work illegally, either in delivery services or drugs or whatever it may be. There is only one way you're going to stop this. There is only one way you're going to stop this. Australia went through these agonies back in the earlier part of this century, where they argued at election after election what to do. They tried offshore processing and many other things, and still the boats came. In the end, they towed the boats back to Indonesia. We will make it absolutely clear, as Colin has said already, that the ECHR, whatever its good intentions in the post-war world were, is no longer fit for purpose in any way at all, and we will be free to detain those. And by the way, all around the world, if you enter a country illegally, you will be detained and deported. This is what normal countries do all over the world. We've surrendered normality to this new human rights regime. So if you come to Britain via that route, you will never be given refugee status. You will never be given permanent leave to remain. You will not be free to walk the streets as so many have done that have committed some of these vile crimes, and you will be deported. And that's the message, plain and simple. And you know what? Within 2 weeks, you won't see a single migrant boat. They won't come. Okay, we have got Sky News. Mari.
Mario Aurora, Sky News, thank you. First of all, on the prisons subject, what is your plan to tackle the mental health difficulties in the prisons? You cannot separate mental health treatment and a lack thereof, perhaps, in prisons with the criminal justice system and the prison population. So what are your plans to actually deal with some of the mental health crises that are happening in prisons? And if I may, is this Project Fear? Are you trying to make people afraid and trying to steer them into fear, and therefore that is the way you will get them to vote for you?
No, they are afraid. They are afraid. I dare you to walk through the West End of London after 9 o'clock of an evening wearing jewellery. You wouldn't do it. You know that I'm right. You wouldn't do it. And that's just in London, let alone what's happening in so many other parts of the country. And the genuine fears that mothers have, particularly for teenage kids, when we know already that an Afghan male has a 22 times more likely chance of being convicted of rape than somebody born in this country. The fact that 40% of sexual assaults in London over the course of the last 5 years have been committed by those born overseas. You know, we have to recognise something. There are some people who come from certain cultures that pose a danger to our society. It's as simple as that. As for our prisons policy, well, I mean, goodness gracious me, why don't you give us a chance? We're just setting up the task force to work these things out. Unless you'd like to comment on that mental health problem.
Look, it is a fact there are a lot of people within our prisons who do have mental health issues. Thankfully, with the introduction of InReach and Outreach, things have got better. They're not right at the moment. There are issues with people being able to protect themselves and being put in prison, but what else do you do with them? And that is something that hopefully our task force will work through. But yes, I absolutely agree that there are a lot of people in prison with serious mental health issues because they've been put there because there's nowhere else, or people don't know what to do with them.
Thank you very much. Anya Pott from Channel 4 News.
You say migrants in hotels should be deported.
Mm-hmm.
Where should they be deported to if their country isn't safe or if another country won't accept them?
I'm sorry, I've had enough of this. If you come from Afghanistan, you go back to Afghanistan. End of. This idea we can't send people to certain countries, all the false claims that people make about their own personal lives. I'm sorry, we're done. We're done. We've had enough. Andy Bell, Channel 5 News.
Thank you. Andy Bell, 5 News. You talked earlier about boats being towed back to France. You must know that's a very dangerous operation. Are you prepared to take the risk that a boat could overturn because a British Border Force boat or a Royal Navy boat has got involved trying to tow it, maybe trying to push it? Is that a risk you are prepared to take?
Well, I didn't talk about boats being towed to France. I talked about boats being towed to Indonesia, pointing out that in the end was the way the Australians sorted it out. Look, you know, I want to make it very, very clear that the absolute, you know, if everything else was to fail, we would tow the boats back to France, which the last time I looked was a relatively civilised and safe country. But I believe if you put all the other measures in place, you won't need to do that. Simple as. And by the way, what is dangerous and what is causing loss of life is us having a sign effectively up on the White Cliffs of Dover saying everyone welcome. To our knowledge, there are 18 that have died so far this year. Nearly 50 died last year.
But that wouldn't be a British boat or ship getting involved in trying to turn that boat around. That's my point.
Well, I do not think, I tell you what, I really don't think, that after 800 million quid, that the French Navy should be escorting boats to the 12-mile line in the way that they currently are. Natasha Clark, LBC.
Hi, Mr. Farage. You said today that police need to be able to release as much information as possible about those potential offenders. So are you saying that they should, the police, in all cases, release the names, addresses, and immigration status of people after they have been charged with an offence. Your critics will, of course, say that this is going to inflame community tensions. This could cause unrest on our streets. We are already seeing a very precarious situation. Is that not just going to make things far, far worse? Thank you.
What caused unrest on our streets after Southport last year was us not being told the status of the attacker. That led to crazy conspiracy.
The fuck?
You said you love basketballs. It's lunar eclipses. Okay, you charge your headphones when you come in.
Rise of Kingdoms.
I'm omning it. I figure out how to get started. I don't really get I need that. I'm searching up a video right now. Someone talk to Evan acting like that, bro. That's their butt. Bet. Wait it out. I'm gonna actually be useful though. I have to try to figure it out.
How can a sparrow know the thoughts of an eagle?
A kingdom destroyed can never come back into being. To be as virtuous as the Duke of Zhou, that the greatest minds all heed my crow. Not a bad couplet. Yes, a brilliant mind, that one. Were he born in my era, I have no doubt he would have conquered us all. Despite his talents, he does not boast about himself. It is a rare and valuable combination. theoretically, he would be an incredible subordinate to have. But his ambition is plain to see. He is a man who will never be content with his current lot in life. Keep an eye on him, Your Excellency.
Lead the greatest minds down the right path. And how vast is this world? Our human lives are but moments. With my closest brothers, I scaled a perilous peak. From up on high, it was as if heaven and earth were one. Against this grand earth, humanity is but a speck. Our individual lives even more so. Knowing this, I worry that this short life of mine will not be enough to deliver the people from this life of misery and uncertainty. I am still only mortal, and in the afterlife, I shall not care about my earthly reputation. I only wish to use this brief life of mine to restore peace to this troubled world. Life and death are bound by destiny, but the ambitions in my heart are not.
Not the daycare. No, which Foxy got eat. I don't know normal Foxy from not find Foxy. The old Foxy. Damn. Okay, sorry.
Je dirigerai. I am Wat Chani. Mon destin est déterminé par la foi et l'opportunité.
九合诸侯，一匡天下。
Well, I'm just turning to Fox. That's all I'm doing. 1-year-old Robin. Year-old. Whoa. I'll search up the video because you have to turn some generators on in the daycare. Then you have to go all the way to the employees only room. Go all the way to the other employee only room with like a generator with a sign on it. Then you get shiny. He asked about sun.
the only dumb one here is you. Let's be honest.
When do you usually call anyone dumb?
I can. I do it at school, I do it here. Who's gonna stop me? Who is going to stop me? Exactly.
儿时并肩细梳妆，今日遇见立。
周公吐哺，天下归心。
Alex goes silent. Wonderful. Good boy.
Yeah, don't call any of us a good boy ever again. Thank you.
Who's gonna stop me? That's the question.
Mooney, Droopy, get away from Mimi, Dee. Good boy, goy.
Good boy.
I was talking to Moon, not you.
I don't give a fuck. Minions!
Is our Moon so sweet?
Why is Alex so silent? Alex, speak! The screenshot is how much power I have. Exactly. In Rise of Kingdoms.
Why does this actually kind of look like Security Breach? Game kind of just look like Security Breach.
Alex, speak!
I give up on this stupid thing. I'm not gonna get Pokemon anytime soon. It's actually easy. You turn the generators to have a plushie on them. The generators have on them? Yeah, turn them on.
But I'm like, you, I have a fucking supersonic little bitch chasing me the time.
Yeah, same.
For some reason,
All you gotta do is like.
fast.
All you gotta do is just run backwards while having your flashlight at his face, because face will get brighter and brighter. Then it'll like overheat or something. Cause well, you know, he heats light. It'll do something, and then he'll start running away.
I'll do it later. I'm trying to scream at somebody right now.
I got so many damn speed ups that I don't even know what the fuck to do with.
Probably have like 10 billion viruses. I bet.
Siege Workshop. More speed ups. Wonderful.
I ain't gonna tell you how to do marionette because it's so damn easy. You know this. I'll tell you where you have to look though. You know the sign where you get the free puppet, like like and join the group. I want to say it's somewhere over there.
Okay.
Don't look at the video or you're just a baby bad bitch.
just asking. I was just saying I'm at spawn. That's all I was saying.
Aren't we all just idiots instead of one of us being idiots?
Yes, we're all idiots, but the bigger idiot right now is getting race right now. He asked me, where am I? I said, I'm running away from the car. I was over there running away from the cop while over here smoking. I would have not made it, and I would have got and red light ticket and illegal parking ticket and hidden an officer ticket.
Alex?
Yes.
Next time when you call someone an idiot, think about all the rest of the idiots in the world. Including you.
I ain't gonna lie, Ray for the bigger idiot.
I stopped.
Yeah, where am I? When I really... Oh, shit, Paul.
Anytime if you see a street sweeper on Freedom Avenue, make sure to avoid him at all costs.
How did this idiot already blow up his truck?
Hey! This is blowing up at spawn. Does not mean I blew it up at spawn. I was driving around and I kept hitting a bunch of people, then I just drove back to spawn. And then
Okay,
I
you
went
need
for
to
a
come
drive.
to the repair shop and stop being a fucking idiot, right? Oh, wait, hold on. There you are. No, I didn't see that.
Hey, dumbass. Hi, dumbasses.
Lily, in chat, tell your brother about the situation that just happened.
All y'all are idiots.
There was a little kid. He was trying to give me a legal parking ticket, so Springfield. Idiots on it.
Second. We were about to come get your dumbass.
I'm at spawn now. I just know when to spawn.
let you spawn, you dipshit. Oh. Oh, that dipshit. Where's the bitch? Where's the bitch? Where's the bitch? Where's the bitch? There's the bitch. I called bro a bitch and he doesn't even care. I'm riding shotgun. Fellas. Bro, why did bro jump out of the damn car, you bitch? Get the fuck back in the car. Get back in the damn car, you bitch. Who the fuck you telling? Who the fuck you telling to shut up? You my bitch. Yo, Race, you tell him to shut up. You bitch. Don't be fucking telling me to shut up. Not my fault that all y'all are idiots. Yeah, you dipshit. Dipshit. Y'all are all stupid. Especially Race. All y'all are stupid, especially Alex and Race. Stupid! Well, I'm not stupider than you or Race. What I said is the truth, by the way. Me. Yeah, idiots. I got this one. Idiots. Yeah, you dipshit. And I'm locking my door. Y'all not coming in. Y'all not coming in unless you get smarter. Well, at least I'm not dumber than you.
Tell your brother that I want to drop him off at his house.
Nobody gives a fuck. Hey, buddy, I don't give a fuck. Someday I'm gonna punch both Race and Alex in the face. For being stupid. Because they fucking deserve it.
Don't question what I'm doing.
I'm trying to figure out.
The only person that shouldn't be questioning what we're doing is Nico. Because he has no idea.
This is our little mafia base, okay? That's why we're buying it.
Okay.
If we start a mafia, then this is our
Mafia.
This is, no, we are never listening. I will never listen to you. Vindy, make it.
Bit.
I'll let the speedsters, or no, some stupid lane.
Only has to do like.
No, you bitch.
Not gay. Damn.
That's a lie. You said something.
You're the only one that don't have a girlfriend.
Well, I don't have a girlfriend either, you idiot.
I do have a girlfriend.
Alex. Who the fuck is making that sound?
Hey, what is it?
Mountain Dew!
Stop that sound. Please stop that sound.
Yo, fellas.
What?
Join Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Yes, Mountain Dew. It's a drink I have right in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
Alex, join it, you bitch.
Did you give me an invite?
I did, you idiot. Yes, I have. Yes, I did. It's giving me an error. You have already recently invited this player. So yes, I did. Stop fucking lying, you fucking asshole.
Man, look at my goddamn sake, for God's sake.
I know I sent it to you. I know it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be giving me that error. Like, goddamn, you fucking dumbasses.
Being stupid.
It ain't my fault all y'all are stupid.
Stupid. Oh shit. Shit. What do you have?
How are you still not in the damn mafia, you stupid piece of shit?
Rainbow? Are you on?
I did already. You about to make me punch a wall. All three of you. God damn. I already looked at your damn screen. And I sent you another invite. Jeez, y'all about to get on my damn nerves.
Doesn't give me it. I don't know. No.
God damn. fucking damn.
Did Sheep ever get the house? Is Sheep still AFK?
Did you get the invite to the damn mafia, you piece of shit?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, sorry, bro. Oh, the invitation has expired. Wait, did y'all leave the game?
I didn't.
Ray, she went back.
I'm in the game though. I've been in the game.
Join the mafia.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't? I literally just reset the damn invite, you fucking piece of shit. Are you fucking stupid?
You can rejoin, Ray.
God damn. No wonder why I fucking lash out at all of y'all. God damn. No wonder I fucking lash out. Y'all annoy me all to hell. The only piece of crap here is you fucking piece of shit.
And now I'm in the freaking mafia. I'm not stupid.
Like, god damn.
When the poets sing Sansutungs meet, the sun is setting on our history. When the ravens cry in the open wind, the cold is freezing your closest kin. We are the rock in the ocean that you couldn't move, the wall of shields you can't break through, the white full sail with a strong wind, the people of gods, y'all sing kings. Hey ho, steady and hold, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the wild, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho. Hey ho, hey ho. When the winter comes and the hunger rules, when the sky turns dark and there is no moon, when the wolf walks free and the serpent spins, the cold is turning your kin on kin. The last days are coming and our final trial, the sparks and the thunder in the distant sky, the wolf's last call in in the howling wind. The people of God's, y'all sing kings. Hey ho, steady and whole, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the world, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. The gods go out in the final war with the sound of steel and a men on march. When the end of all is to begin, the clash of flesh and bones will ring. Even the strong and the cunning are about to fall, and the men in the songs of Odin's hall. We are the tribes and the fighters with an ancient will, the people of God's, y'all some kings. Hey ho, steady and home, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the world, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. When the poets sing Sun Tzu Tung's meet, the sun is setting on our history. When the ravens cry in the open wind, the cold is freezing your closest kin. We are the rock in the ocean that you couldn't move, the wall of shields you can't break through, the white full sail with a strong wind, the people of God's, y'all sing kings. Hey ho, steady and whole, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the world, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, hey ho. When the winter comes and the hunger rules, when the sky turns dark and there is no moon, when the wolf walks free and the serpent spins, the cold is turning your kin on kin. The last days are coming and a final trial, the sparks and the thunder in the distant sky, the wolf's last call in the howling wind, the people of God's, y'all sing kings. Hey ho, steady and whole, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the world, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. The gods go out in the final war with the sound of steel and a men on march. When the end of all is to begin, the clash of flesh and bones will ring. Even the strong and the cunning are about to fall, and the men in the songs of Odin's hall. We are the tribes and the fighters with an ancient will, the people of God's, y'all sing kings. Hey ho, steady and home, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the world, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. poets sing, Sansutungs meet. The sun is setting on our history. When the ravens cry in the open wind, the cold is freezing your closest kin. We are the rock in the ocean that you couldn't move, the wall of shields you can't break through, the white full sail with a strong wind. The people of gods, y'all sing kings. Hey ho, steady and hold, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the wild, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho. Hey ho, hey ho. When the winter comes and the hunger rules, when the sky turns dark and there is no moon, when the wolf walks free and the serpent spins, the cold is turning your kin on kin. The last days are coming and our final trial, the sparks and the thunder in the distant sky, the wolf's last call in the howling wind. The people of gods, y'all sing kings. Hey ho, steady and hold, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the wild, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. The gods go out in the final war with the sound of steel and a man on march. When the end of all is to begin, the clash of flesh and bones will ring. Even the strong and the cunning are about to fall, and the men in the songs of Odin's hall. We are the tribes and the fighters with an ancient will. The people of gods, we all sing kings. Hey ho, steady and hold, a life in the north, my home is calling. Hey ho, rivers and fjords, the song of the wild, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho, my home is calling. When the poets sing, Sansutungs meet. The sun is setting on our history. When the ravens cry in the open wind, the cold is freezing your closest kin. We are the rock in the ocean that you couldn't move, the wall of shields you can't break through, the white full sail with a strong wind. The